Good morning. Welcome to another lesson from Book B of the White Edition of A Course in Miracles. It's one with the dove, the watermark dove on the cover. So lesson 167 today. There is one life, and that I share with God. There are not different kinds of life, for life is like the truth. It does not have degrees. It is the one condition in which all that God created share. Like all his thoughts, it has no opposite. There is no death, because what God created shares his life. There is no death, because an opposite to God does not exist. There is no death, because the Father and the Son are one. In this world, there appears to be a state that is life's opposite. You call it death. Yet we have learned that the idea of death takes many forms. It is the one idea which underlies all feelings that are not supremely happy. It is the alarm to which you give response of any kind that is not perfect joy. All sorrow, loss, anxiety and suffering and pain, and even a little sigh of weariness, a slight discomfort or the merest frown acknowledge death and thus deny you live. Even the merest frown. It's like God's will for me is perfect happiness. If I'm not perfectly happy, I'm denying God's will for me. Right? And in the nature of being able to turn around or to reinterpret all my thinking in order to live in alignment or in service to God's will within myself and extend that out into the community and the world as a vibrational expression of myself. Why wouldn't I want to be about that? It's like, let me just choose to be about that and not be about anything else. I don't know how to not choose for anything else, but I'm just going to choose to be about that and trust that I'll be brought back to that if I wander off. You think that death is of the body, yet it is but an idea irrelevant to what is seen as physical. Right? Irrelevant to what is seen as physical. There's another whole kind of perspective on life, the world, the universe, and everything that we're taking on board here, like the big picture. Okay, you think that death is of the body, yet it is but an idea irrelevant to what is seen as physical, a thought in the mind. It can be then applied as mind directs it, but its origin is where it must be changed if change occurs. Ideas leave not their source. Okay, you can't get rid of the thoughts from your mind. You take your mind with you wherever you go. Okay, whatever I'm seeing is a reflection of my own thinking, because it's only my own thoughts telling me what I think I see and giving it all the meaning that I think it has. Ideas leave not their source. The emphasis this course has placed on that idea is due to its centrality in our attempts to change your mind about yourself. Okay, I'll read that again. The emphasis this course has placed on that idea is due to its centrality in our attempts to change your mind about yourself. Ideas leave not their source. Okay, it is the reason you can heal. It is the cause of healing. It is why you cannot die. Its truth established you as one with God. Death is the thought that you are separate from your Creator. It is the belief conditions change, emotions alternate because of causes you cannot control, you did not make, and you can never change. It is the fixed belief ideas can leave their source and take on qualities the source does not contain, becoming different from their own origin, apart from it in kind, as well as in distance, time, and form. Death cannot come from life. Ideas remain united to their source. They can extend all that their source contains. In that, they can go far beyond themselves, but they cannot give birth to what was never given them. As they are made, so will their making be. As they were born, so will they then give birth. And where they come from, there they will return. The mind can think it sleeps, but that is all. It cannot change what is its waking state. It cannot make a body. This is cool, ready? It cannot make a body nor abide within a body. Ready? It cannot make a body nor abide within a body. And if you were to close your eyes, it seems to be that the source of your existence, the source of your beingness, is somewhere here in your consciousness, in this, the brain, mind, head. You sort of think, I'm in here somewhere. There's a voice that's telling me I'm a me, and I'm a this, and I'm a here, and I'm in this body. You're not in that body. You're somewhere entirely, completely different. We'll call reality for a second. Dreaming that you're this with your focal point here. Right? None of it's true. Okay. It cannot make a body nor abide within a body. What is alien to the mind does not exist because it has no source. For mind creates all things that are and cannot give them attributes. It lacks nor change its own eternal mindful state. It cannot make the physical. What seems to die is but the sign of mind asleep. What seems to die is but the sign of mind asleep. The opposite of life can only be another form of life. As such, it can be reconciled with what created it, because it is not opposite in truth. Its form may change, it may appear to be what it is not, yet mind is mind, awake or sleeping. And I remember having a kaleidoscope when I was a child, and you look through it and there's a shape at the end that's all beautiful and whatever, and you're attracted by it, and as you turn it, the shape changes and it becomes different patterns and things, but it's still the same bunch of beads or whatever those things are. I never pulled one apart as a child, which is pretty incredible really, but it's still the same stuff. Okay, just because you turn it, change it, and want it to be different doesn't mean it actually is different. No, it's still a kaleidoscope. It's still those beads. It's just changed form and shape and whatever, but it's still the same thing. Okay. God creates only mind awake. He does not sleep, and his creations cannot share what he gives not, nor make conditions which he does not share with them. The thought of death is not the opposite to thoughts of life. Forever unopposed by opposites of any kind, the thoughts of God remain forever changeless, with the power to extend forever changelessly, but yet within themselves, for they are everywhere. What seems to be the opposite of life is merely sleeping. When the mind elects to be what it is not, and to assume an alien power which it does not have, a foreign state it cannot enter, or a false condition not within its source, it merely seems to go to sleep a while. It dreams of time, an interval in which what seems to happen never has occurred. The changes wrought are substanceless, and all events are nowhere. When the mind awakes, it but continues as it always was. When I had my experience of the illumination of my mind, and the world vanished and my body vanished, and I found myself as and in reality, I recognized in that moment that nothing had changed, that the world was completely just a figment of my imagination, and that everything was exactly as it was. It's really hard to talk about it. I wish, like there's some kind of way I could just, but you've got to want it. That's the problem. It's like, that's the whole thing. You've got to want it. You've got to want that experience. It's like that experience and nothing else. Okay. Let us today be children of the truth and not deny our holy heritage. Our life is not as we imagine it. Our life is not as we imagine it. Who changes life because he shuts his eyes or makes himself what he is not, because he sleeps and sees in dreams an opposite to what he is? We will not ask for death in any form today, nor will we let imagined opposites to life abide even an instant where the thought of life eternal has been set by God himself. That's cool. I'm going to read that whole bit again. Let us today be children of the truth and not deny our holy heritage. You've got to carry that with you. Our life is not as we imagine it. Who changes life because he shuts his eyes or makes himself what he is not because he sleeps and sees in dreams an opposite to what he is? We will not ask for death in any form today, nor will we let imagined opposites to life abide even an instant where the thought of life eternal has been set by God himself. His holy home we strive to keep today as he established it and wills it be forever and forever. He is Lord of what we think today, and in his thoughts, which have no opposite, we understand there is one life, and that we share with him, with all creation, with their thoughts as well, whom he created in a unity of life that cannot separate in death and leave the source of life from where it came. We share life because we have one source, a source from which perfection comes to us, remaining always in the holy minds which he created. As we were, so are we now and will forever be. A sleeping mind must waken as it sees its own perfection mirroring the Lord of life so perfectly it fades into what is reflected there, and now it is no more a mere reflection. It becomes the thing reflected, and the light which makes reflection possible. No vision now is needed, for the wakened mind is one that knows its source, itself, and its holiness. No vision now is needed, for the wakened mind is one that knows its source, itself, and its holiness. Wow, that's really cool. It's funny, that's really personal to me, that last little line. No vision now is needed, for the wakened mind is one that knows its source, itself, and its holiness. And I had this moment the other day, actually, I've had it a few times lately, of wondering within myself about the vision that I had in a moment where I was walking up the street in Byron Bay and watched the whole world fade almost to invisibility, and the light of my brothers, in that spark that God put there himself, emerge. And I knew that was the vision of Christ. I knew that beautiful blazing light was the truth of my brother, not the body. That's what I was shown in that vision. And everything else faded out. And I was just wondering to myself, thoughts along the line of, it'd be nice to see that all fade away again. And I wonder if there's a way to maintain that sort of vision, blah, blah, blah. But again, you only have to have it the once. And I guess, like that saying, you get itchy feet, you want to travel and all of that sort of thing. It's like having had an experience of reality and finding myself back here undergoing this transition with you. And it's like my feet are itchy. I'm keen to be getting on with the journey of the soul and to lay this thing here aside, to lay it down for the last time. But whilst it still has a use, let it be useful. So thy will be done. No vision now is needed, for the wakened mind is one that knows its source, itself, and its holiness. Yes, absolutely.